of Time's Next 100, a list of leaders shaping innovation globally, and founded Counterparts, a platform for experimental collaboration. She is joining me on the line to share with us her journey. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sumayya, and shukran for joining me.
Walaikum salam, Jazakallah for having me, Sister Maryam. It's lovely to be here.
Alhamdulillah. All right. So first of all, congratulations on receiving this prestigious award. And how did it feel? I mean, being the youngest person to receive this award, and it's not just any award, you know.
It's been quite a journey, and I think with the year that we've just had, there have of course been a lot of ups and downs. But of course, it has been, alhamdulillah, euphoric, and I think it's also a testament to the support of my parents and the space that they've given me to grow in. That something has taken off after a lot of years of hard work. So it has been amazing, but I think also as a South African and as a young Muslim woman, it's very important that this award has come to such a young, unknown practice like mine, given that it is usually in the realm of star architects and of star architecture. I think it means a lot that this commission this year is with a practice like my own.
Mm-hmm. Now, when did your journey in architecture begin?
I think in 2008, that's when I started studying. I was in first year. I was a first-year architecture student at the University of Pretoria. And then once I completed my degree, I had a kind of 2-year gap to just recalibrate. I wasn't entirely sure that I wanted to be an architect any longer during that time. And it was around then that I reconnected with Johannesburg, and I did a lot of volunteering with NGOs and so on. And then I studied my postgraduate at WITS and started the practice during that time when I was still a student at WITS.
Mm-hmm. And what did you love about it that you decided to make a career out of it?
I think I've always been in love with design and with beautiful things, but when I started studying architecture, I realized that it's so much more than that. It's so much more than just an aesthetic practice and an aesthetic profession. Of course, that side of it is still very close to my heart, and I also think that self-expression and expression of our identities, you know, African, Muslim, female, all our cultures and ethnicities is also a very important part of it. But what moves me most is that architecture really and truly has the potential and the opportunity to touch social lives and to make a contribution to our social fabrics. And I think in particular in our context in South Africa, where our history is of segregation that played out in our built landscapes and in our built environment, and you know, access and so on was not equal for everyone, and we still dealing with those legacies in our spaces and in our cities. And so I guess, you know, I don't know when the moment that I fell in love with architecture is, but I definitely feel that through my education and across my education, I really started to become aware of just how deep and how broad the profession is, that it isn't just about designing buildings. It's about people's lives and about holding so much of who we are and who we want to be.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we think. You know, we are the outsiders looking in, and we just see a beautiful building, a beautiful structure, and we're like, oh, wow. We fall in love with the aesthetics. We don't know how much actually goes into creating such a beautiful piece. Now, you have a mantra of, I want to build differently. What does that mean to you, and why does it speak to you that you want to do things differently?
I think that, again, in our context in particular, we have inherited ways of building that are not our own, that don't come necessarily from our own cultures, from our own backgrounds, from our own identities. And so when I say I want to build differently, I think what I'm really, really interested in is trying to find design form and design language for who we are and for this place. And I think that for too long, our histories have been erased or they've been excluded, they've been managed and edited. And we've also forgotten who we are in that regard. We've also absorbed other cultures and traditions, which is not a bad thing, but I think it does become difficult when we absorb other things to the detriment of our own identity. Of course, I think a culture's hybridizing is inevitable, and it's also, I think, a positive thing in every regard. But yeah, I think that the way that history has played out for us and the way it's been documented has erased so much of who we are. And while that is a challenge, it also becomes an opportunity, and it's very exciting to start to imagine from these places of difference, to start to imagine from our own places of identity.
And you were also named as Times 2021 Time 100 Next. How does it feel to be a future leader of tomorrow?
Humbling and very surprising. It was a complete surprise. I had no idea when that interview took place what it was for. And of course, I have followed the list over the last few years, and there are so many aspirational role models to look up to on those pages. So it's an incredible honor, I think, to be recognized as a peer with voices who are really doing such important and incredible work, and in making sacrifices, and in just bravely pursuing rounds of work that are about contributing to all of our futures.
Obviously, there comes challenges in everything that you do. So, were there moments where you felt like giving up, that you felt like you couldn't do this anymore? It was just too overwhelming for you?
Every day, I think. Well, I mean, I think that I oscillate between, or I think that the challenges are vast, especially being a Muslim woman of color in the industry has had its own challenges as well. But I think that I do deeply love what I do, and I believe in it very deeply, and that overcomes any amount of overwhelm or any set of challenges. I also think that unfortunately it is our work to push through and to brave all those difficulties and challenges, because the challenges of being excluded and of being invisibilized and of our voices of difference, of our identities, and of who we are not being expressed. If we succumb to those challenges, we're all at a loss. So I think keeping the bigger picture in mind has always been really important, and persevering through those moments by imagining what's coming is really important.
Definitely. Sumayya, please stay on the line. We're going to take a quick break, and we will continue thereafter.
The craftsmanship of all your bespoke jewelry needs. We believe it's because at Randery Jewelers, we know just how to make your special moments last forever. Whether it's for a wedding, anniversary, or just a simple gift to show your love, trust Randery Jewelers to make it special. www.randeryjewelers.com. Make your moments last forever with Randery Jewelers, a family name you can trust.
Give charity without delay, for it stands in the way of calamities. For child-headed households in Bloemendal in the Eastern Cape, the daily diet consists of white bread and a carton of cheap juice or sugar water, known locally as the poppy water diet. Make a difference to that one child or family. The Al Fida Foundation has over the past 13 years worked on the ground and gathered the largest database in the Eastern Cape region of Muslim zakah recipients. Phone our offices at 041 484 1288 or visit our website at www.alfida.co.za. The Al-Fida Foundation, your social investment partner in the Eastern Cape.
Where in this dunya am I going to find a scarf to match? Only at Al Shazia, the scarf specialist. We stock the largest range of scarves for every occasion. Al Shazia's pre-Ramadan sale now on. 15% off all ladies and girls abayas, 15% off all men's and boys' kurtas. Sale ends Sunday the 14th of March. Al Shazia, 215 Sparks Road, Overport, Durban. Al Shazia, the scarf specialist.
Looking to get your kick? Kiki's have now reopened on 235 Matthews Maiwa Road in Durban. Head on over for the Taste with Kick. We offer something scrumptious for everyone in the family. Wraps, chicken tikka, burgers, tender grills, mocktails, milkshakes, and so much more. Corporate and events catering available. Visit our social media pages for more info or call 031 209 0119. Kiki's, the Taste with Kick.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media. It is 19 minutes past 12, and I am chatting to an architect, a founding principal of Counterspace, and the youngest architect to win the prestigious Serpentine Pavilion Commission, Sumayya Vally. Sumayya, shukran for staying on the line. Now, your firm, Counterspace, is a female-led and has completed projects locally and globally. What does women empowerment mean to you, such that you have put the women up front to lead Counterspace?
I think, in terms of many practicalities, personalities, religious aspects, and so on, it has been amazing to have an all-female team. But also, I think that in terms of what I've been saying about bringing about difference in the world, I think that from a female perspective, we do see the world differently. And I think all of the lenses that contribute to our identities and who we are, from our religion to our gender, to our culture, and so on, all of these are important things that we should be bringing forth into the world and in our design languages. And so from that perspective, it's not only, I think, about female empowerment in terms of helping women, but it's also about understanding the power that women have to make a difference, and that in contributing our way of seeing the world and in understanding that the spaces that women need and the way that our lives work also is different, and seeing that as a strength and not as a disability has been central to the way that the firm works. And I think everything from how we think about the work day to how we consider women in public space has come into our projects. And so for me, it's certainly been a gift to have so many strong women surrounding us.
Do you guys, rather, do you ladies feel intimidated, or has anyone come across and try to intimidate you ladies for the work that you're doing? I mean, locally and globally, that's a huge achievement.
I think it's a constant challenge that probably most women face, and I don't think it's a conscious thing on the part of men, but I have certainly been in many boardrooms and in many spaces where our work is undermined, even just subconsciously, by clients, by collaborators, by anyone, and sometimes even other women who, would, yeah, I think not realize who is actually doing the work on the team and so on. So yes, and every day, and I think that continues on and probably will for a while.
Well, strength to you, ladies, and keep up the good work. We are going to play a game. It's called Quickfire. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and you need to answer them as quickly as possible. Are you ready?
Oh dear. Okay.
All right. If you were the president, who would be your deputy?
Pass. My
All right.
mom. My mom.
What would your top priority be as the president?
A free education, free decolonized education.
What is your favorite quote?
Live out of your imagination, not just your history.
Well, I've never heard that one before. If you had to choose a superpower between reading minds, invisibility, and super strength, what would you choose?
Reading minds.
Name 3 people or organizations that we should follow on social media.
Salam Media, Sunu Journal, and Counterspace.
All right, awesome. We'll definitely follow Counterspace. Now, for those who are interested in studying architecture, what advice can you give to them? What subjects should they take? What should they focus on, etc.?
I get asked this often by nervous parents, and I also, even when I went to my nephew's career day when he was in grade one kids asked me what subjects they should take to be an architect. Yeah, which I found really beautiful, mashallah, and quite amusing. But I think that architecture is a discipline that touches everything. So from, thinking about health to science to artistic fields and artistic practices, there really is an opportunity to bring about other things that one is interested in architecture, whether if it's politics, literature. I mean, it really does touch on so many other fields. So I don't think there is a prescription about what subjects one needs to take. Of course, I'm sure there are prescriptions from the university. When I was studying, I know that maths and science was considered really important, and top grades also were considered really important. But for me, those things don't matter so much. I think it's more about the amount of passion that one has, and also about deeply believing in what it is that the difference that you want to make and what it is that you want to bring out into the world. So I think that any subject matter can fit within the realm of architecture. But yeah, and in terms of advice, I think that I always say it is something that you have to be in love with, because it takes a lot of dedication and commitment. But I think it's the same advice for anyone entering any field, isn't it?
Oh, yes, definitely. All right, Sumayya, thank you so much for your time and for joining us to share your journey with us. Quickly, where would you like to see yourself and Counter Space in the next 5 years?
Building lots of cultural institutions, redefining what religious centers, what museums and archives and libraries and spaces for public good look like.
All right, so good luck to you then. And I'm going to leave you now so that you can continue with your 5 year journey. Shukran for joining us and have a wonderful day.
Shukran for having me. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That was Sumayya Vally, the founder. Uh, She's an architect and the founding principal of Counterspace, also the youngest architect to win the prestigious Serpentine Pavilion Commission. You can find her on social media on Instagram. And if you'd like to know more about what she does, yeah, she's the best person to chat to. Also, you can leave your comments in the comment section or send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 0617660355. It is 12:28. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Sada Media with your host, Maryam Mkwanda. We will be right back.